Pandemonium Reigns.
Hey, friends and family, welcome to Pandemonium Reigns. I'm Dan, he's Mike. I'm pretty, he's sexy. Listen, y'all, we have some, I just want to tell you guys about our friendship real quickly. I haven't seen my buddy since October. Finally got to hug his neck on Saturday, kiss his beard. It was a very, it's been a long time. It's been since the Bama game. It's also been a long time in between episodes, so we apologize for that, but I just want to remind you that we do this for free, so you can hit like and subscribe whenever you feel froggy. So now's a good time. Go ahead and do that thing. Punch that thing. How are you, buddy?
I'm fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm just trying to get this chicken out of my teeth. That's all.
Oh, yeah, that's a pain in the butt, but also in the tooth. Oh,
I'm telling you. Hey, we got an interesting episode coming at you today. We're going to talk about coaches, college football coaches that are under the most pressure in 2023. Now, this is not hot seat scenarios like a Neil Brown who probably won't survive the season. That's not what we're talking about. Most pressure. This could be because maybe the seat is about to get hot. I mean, a number of different reasons. The canvas is blank. It's ready for us to paint on it. It's wide open. I've got a list. I'm assuming Mikey Dub has a list.
a loose list. It's the list is the list lives in the cloud at the moment.
Okay, that's fair. Well, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Since mine is written down and yours is in your cloud, do you want to go ahead and spit one at me before you lose it? Give me a coach under a ton of pressure going into 23.
All right, and this is a tough one for me because y'all probably have gathered that the difference between hot seat and pressure is very tough in my cloud. So when I think pressure, not hot seat, but pressure, the first one that really came to mind for me is Billy Napier.
Oh, interesting. Okay, he's not on my list. Okay,
he's probably safe from losing his job, barring the unthinkable in Gainesville. Yeah. But pressure nonetheless, whereas the seat will be red hot in 2024 if, he doesn't work some sort of minor miracles.
What do you think the bare minimum for a Billy Napier, something that he has to do in order to keep pressure off of him, in order to even keep the job? Because, I mean, Auburn showed us that, we don't care if it's year two. You're not doing the job. You're not doing the job. We'll go find somebody who will and can. And even as you have said before, the rebuild is not like it used to be with the transfer portal, something you've pointed out. So give me something that Billy Napier can do that will keep pressure off of him, or what's the bare minimum?
Oh man. The first thing I thought of then is that there's not going to be a ton of patience, and the situation is just, it's as bleak as it's been at Florida in some time.
Okay.
Like as far as depth and talent in the rooms and all that stuff. So I feel like the man needs to find a way to win 7-8 games, but I just don't know that that's there.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
If he goes 6 and 6, and you're 1 and 2, come on, man. What are you going to do? What do you think Dan Mullen would have done if he had just done enough to stay around and he got Anthony Richardson? You know what I mean? What do you think he would have done with Anthony Richardson? Do you think he would have gone 6 and 6 last year?
Well, I think you and I fall into the same boat here. We believe that Anthony Richardson might be a little bit overhyped.
Sure. But who would have used him correctly and who didn't?
Okay, well, this is off topic. So how would you use him? How would you use him, though? Would you run him to
death? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
that's fair.
I just don't think that they did enough. And I think that he was, not quite 100% if ever. So there were factors, no doubt factors. But yeah, I just think Dan Mullen would have got a lot more. He would have known how to use him. And I'm not sure that they did down there because they tried to play kind of in a box. And
well, he was also dealing with some injuries pretty early.
Yeah,
on, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Well, they are they're going to travel to Utah to open the season, host McNeese, host Tennessee, host Charlotte, travel to Kentucky, host Vanderbilt, travel to Columbia, South Carolina, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, host Arkansas, travel to LSU, travel to Missouri, host Florida State. That's not favorable.
It's not that favorable.
Doable, but not favorable.
Yeah.
I don't like a Utah win at this moment. I don't like a Tennessee win. Well, I'm sorry. I'm saying I don't like through the eyes of Florida. Like I like Utah. I like Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think in this moment I like Kentucky.
At Kentucky, why not? Yeah.
South Carolina might be a toss-up. Georgia's definitely a loss. Arkansas is probably a loss. LSU is probably a loss. Missouri, I don't know, toss-up. Florida State, if they pick up where they left off, it's probably a loss. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay, so you know what? I didn't think to put him on the list, but I think that makes a lot of sense after you point that out.
I mean, 6-6 could be redone, and it could be worse if the quarterback situation is not good.
Sure.
And again, just based on how they used Richardson, what they tried to do with him, and again, maybe his health was a factor. I don't like what I see there. Even if they have stellar quarterback play, I don't like their receiver options. They don't have many deep threats, if any. You know, they've got a pretty decent slot guy that Pearsall, I believe, is back. And then they've got a lot of big-bodied guys that just don't inspire a lot of fear for me. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what they can do. I'll be impressed if they were to pull something out of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. I would certainly add him to this list of most pressure. I'm gonna throw a name at you, and I think this is going to surprise a lot of people. I cannot wait to see your face. I'm coming in with the heavy punches.
All right.
Coaches with the most pressure, not hot seat. Coaches with the most pressure in 2023. Deion Sanders. Now let me try to make this make sense.
All right.
He is I'm not gonna say he's running his mouth, but he's talking a lot, right?
Yeah.
You know where to find me. We coming, stuff like this. You're gonna shoot this fan base through the roof in a matter of no time if you have not already.
Yeah.
You basically won the transfer portal, which is the key to winning now, right?
Yeah.
Mel Tucker says hello. Okay.
Yeah.
You brought in, Travis Hunter, Cavassier Smoke. So you've got defensive improvement. Of course, you're improved everywhere. I think he's under pressure, and it might not even be a ton, but I think he's under pressure, and he'll probably tell you otherwise. But I think pressure will be ensued simply because it's been self-inflicted, if that makes sense. Sure. You are raising the bar without having done anything.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the team was bad last year. The coaching staff was bad. It was all bad. You have the only way you can go is up. And I'm not convinced as a roster you're good enough to do that.
Yeah.
Right? But you're talking like you're a blue blood, like you're a bad boy. And I don't know that your schedule is all that favorable. You're going to play Nebraska out of the conference. You're going to play TCU out of the conference, and Nebraska is going to be in a similar situation where they're going to be playing with a lot of spunk, right?
Both teams must win that game.
That's fair.
I mean, if you're Matt Rule and you're trying to fix Nebraska, you can't lose to Deion Sanders and this terrible, terrible program, even though you've been in the same boat.
Yeah.
I mean, and you look at it through Deion's eyes, it's the same deal. You can't lose to Nebraska. They've been so bad. You've made bigger splashes. It's like neither team can lose that game, and somebody's gonna.
Right. No. So I think the pressure is actually brought upon himself.
Sure.
I think if of course, we have very different personalities. If I'm talking, I don't know that I'm saying the things that he's saying, or I'm not letting certain things hit media, right? Like there's certain things I'm going to be saying to my team, but I do not want this hitting media. I like Deion Sanders. I'm rooting for him. I'm not saying he's arrogant. I just think this pressure is going to be self-inflicted.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I don't view it that way though, personally, and it's fine that you do, because he's just building expectations. I mean, he is just building a wall of expectations, and he's writing checks that if he can cash them, I'll be wowed. You know what I mean? Sure. Like my expectations are low. I mean, they in the cellar. The expectations.
Well, my point is that So you and I are on the outside looking in of what's going on in Colorado, but now I guarantee you have a majority of Colorado fans saying, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna go 10-2. We're back. we're going to go 9-3. Now your level heads like Joel Klatt who played there is like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you're going to have a fan base that's going to be, whoa, we don't. What do you mean? We just lost to TCU? No.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
and Nebraska? No. You're not winning that division. Not this
That's
year.
possible. No way, dude. No, God, they couldn't win. I mean, there's low levels of football that they couldn't win the division or the conference of this year. I mean, it's a freaking rebuild. Like, I mean, like we don't even know about. Like, and we've been bad. Tennessee's been bad. We've seen bad SEC programs. This is a different rebuild. Now, the thing in their favor is that the pack is going to be even this year before your USC and USC and UCLA leave. It's still top heavy. Coaching is top heavy. The talent is top heavy. You know, there's some programs that could snap you here and there in that mid to low level. But I mean, this is a heck of a rebuild, and I'm just not sold enough to really even put much stock or expectation into it. Now, like I said, I'll be really impressed if he does pull some things out of the hat. Like 6-7 wins would impress me quite a bit with how bad Colorado's been. But yeah, I mean, you're right. All he's doing is just talking, and I don't know what the formula would be to cash those checks.
Sure, and I think that's my point. I don't know that rebuild even falls into the dictionary in this sport anymore because for 2 decades, this sport has been about what have you done for me lately, right? And now, like, there's almost like you don't get a chance to say, well, we're rebuilding, like Derek Dooley, year 0. No. See, the transfer portal has done away with that in my mind. Like the expectations are immediate and they're lofty. And you have a tough schedule. You have a tough out of conference. In your division, you got Utah. In your division, you got UCLA. In your division, you got USC. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck for sure.
All right. What about you? You got another one?
I do have another one. Let me dip into the cloud here. Rick Barnes. Oh, sorry, wrong sport. Steve Sarkisian is my next one on the list.
On my list. He's on my list.
It's pressure right now, like, but this one's almost cheating for me because, like, I mean, whereas Colorado, I'm expecting some definite bumps in the road.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to get any grace. Like, the grace period is over.
Not in year 3.
Not in year 3. Not, because they've always, doesn't matter who's been there. They've recruited. They've got talent. They lose some very important pieces, so it'll be interesting to see how they replace them.
Right.
But, I mean, the grace period is over if there ever was one in his time there to this point. So, yeah, Steve Sarkisian is there, but he's like so close to on the hot seat that I feel like just a cheater, just breaking our rules the whole time I'm talking about him here.
Right. I think the pressure is even more lofty simply because you sign Arch Manning, who is everybody's favorite player on any football team.
The backup QB.
The backup quarterback. So if things are not going well, he is going to have to manage that similar situation to, oh gosh, what was his name? Justin Fields was on the bench. You know what I'm talking about? Oh gosh, Jake Fromm. Justin Fields. Play Fields. Why is he not playing Fields? Now you're going to have to manage that if Quinn Ewers is not
gunslinging.
Gunslinging, doing exceptionally well. I mean, at the first sign of the pick, I guarantee you that fan base is going to be going, chanting Arch Manning's name, right? 16.
Yeah.
Here's your, what is it that he lost? Here's your student ID, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally agree with Sarkisian. I would love to look at his upcoming schedule real quick going into this conversation. Okay, yeah, this is tough. Just off the cuff. So, hosting Rice, which JT Daniels, let's not forget.
JT Daniels.
Hey, he's a five-star.
Yeah, okay.
Hosting Rice at Alabama, which is interesting. It's fascinating. I think that's a game that Texas can go in and win if you're looking at paper, right? But it's not how this game is played. I'm probably going to pick Bama when it comes time to because it's in Tuscaloosa and just because I'm not going to believe it with Sarkisian until I see it. You host Wyoming. You travel to Baylor. You host Kansas, who's no longer a pushover. Red River rivalry at Houston, home against BYU, home against Kansas State, at TCU, at Iowa State, home against Texas Tech. Doable. I don't, again, similar to the language earlier, not favorable, but
Yeah.
doable. I think if this cat doesn't go 9-3 at the least,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah. And like they just need a bit more adaptation too, if that's even the word, because when it was crunch time last year, and this is partially yours as much as it is anybody, but where's Worthy? Where's Xavier Worthy? Like, where's he at? I'm going to him. You know what I mean? Like, even against TCU in that weird defensive Big 12 game, that was weird. It was like, where's Worthy? Where's Worthy? And his completion percentage was just mud. I mean, it was garbage. It was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, will they take any steps? Because if they do, it could be really good. But man, if they don't, he'll be out. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to throw one at you,
For sure.
hoping that I take you by surprise here. Mike Gundy.
Mike Gundy.
I don't think he's
That
going
is,
anywhere, even if he
yeah.
bottoms out, goes 4-8. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Okay.
However, the layout of this conference, the Big 12, is taking a change this year, and it's going to take a bigger change when Texas and whatever the names, Oklahoma leave.
Yeah.
So this is the prime opportunity for you to rise up and kind of get a hold of this conference with as
Yeah.
good as you've been, as consistent as you've been over the past 10, 15 years, whenever it was that you took over.
Yeah.
You've always been respectable. Your offense totally disappeared last season.
Yeah.
But if I'm Gundy, if I'm the athletic director, I'm looking at him going, "Hey, dude, it's now. Now is the time to raise Oklahoma State to another level. You have
Yeah.
got to get a hold of this conference."
Absolutely. No, it's now or never for them, because the conference is their prestige, if you will, is going to take a significant hit when their top two prize ponies leave for the SEC. And I mean, you just can't waste that. You cannot waste that. You can't let, especially like a newcomer come in and really challenge for that conference and things like that.
Yep.
You've got to put a good foot forward now and really be a player there in contention every year. You can't have these weird vanishing offensive years like they kind of had, because they looked so strong in 2022, like midway through.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with that completely. I wonder what the dialogue is like there, because he's probably built a lot of goodwill over the years up until maybe 2-3 years ago. So I wonder what the dialogue is like there, like what the goals are and the expectations are, because they've been pretty good. He played there, so he's got a lot of deep-seated roots there. I wonder if pressure is really starting to creep in that room, because honestly, if it isn't to this point, it really needs to be for them to be what they can be.
Yes. I think it's a pressure, but I think it's a needed pressure for one, like to light a fire up under the butts a little bit.
Yeah.
Listen to this. I think this schedule is pretty dang favorable. So home against Central Arkansas, at Arizona State. I mean, they're going through a coaching change.
Yeah.
Fixing culture, fixing locker room.
Yeah.
Even though it's at Arizona State, I think you will win that game.
Yeah, you have to.
Home against South Alabama, that should be a win. At Iowa State, so this is along the lines of what I'm talking about. Don't let an Iowa State get you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? This is a time to establish yourself. Home against Kansas State.
What? I'm going to interrupt you. Time out.
Go ahead.
And I just want to add context, because what I'm saying about Oklahoma State, Iowa State, because of the good every third or fourth year that they've had under Campbell, and then Kansas State, like what they did in 2022, they need to be saying the same thing as Oklahoma State. So
Kansas State,
that's just added pressure for Gundy. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Kansas State is applying that pressure to an Oklahoma State, because Kansas State is also almost more suited to do what we're asking of Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And they're going to give a much longer leash in this moment in 23 to Kleiman than probably Gundy has at Oklahoma State. That's an excellent point, though. So home against Kansas State, home against Kansas, at West Virginia. I like that that's a road game, because that's very winnable, right?
Yeah.
Home against Cincinnati. Bedlam.
You got to win that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bedlam at Oklahoma. I think that one is almost arguably the most important, because we're potentially losing this rivalry after this year. right?
Yeah.
This is a chance for Oklahoma State to say, deuces, have fun in that conference, right?
Yeah.
It'd be great if they could drop like a 49-14 thumping. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Which I don't know if it's going to happen. But then you're going to make a bit of a travel to Orlando, Florida to play UCF. And I couldn't tell you a lick about UCF. At Houston, home against BYU. There are opportunities there.
Yeah.
I see opportunities. Your away schedule is not bad. You got winnable games in Arizona State, West Virginia, even UCF, even Houston. I mean, those no reason you shouldn't go 4-0 in those that I just said.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
I like that.
Who do you got?
Yeah. I'm going to go to the other side of the rivalry, and I'm going to go Brent Venables.
Yeah, I had him as well. Yep.
You cannot do things like 6-7, 500. You can't do that at Oklahoma. There's been an amazing and admirable standard for 20 years plus 25 years since things got right there with Stoops, with Heupel and their runs and Jason Watt. You cannot recreate that. You'll be out in a heartbeat. It will go from pressure to not repeat what you did to like, hey Dabo, can I come back in like a heartbeat? Like it'll be like that. Right. So
agreed.
Especially because they lost pieces, they lost transfers out. They didn't lose that much. I mean, seriously. And I know that Dylan Gabriel had injuries, and that's a factor for sure. But there were winnable games that they just got absolutely hammered in, and they just didn't instill a lot of confidence for me. So Brent Venables is on the list.
Agreed. And I think a major reason he is on the list is all the things that you said. And additionally, he is relying on two other people mainly to have success. And this is not a fault against him. He's probably doing the right thing as a CEO, but he's really trusting Lebby and he's really trusting Dylan Gabriel. Like he needs a great season out of Dylan Gabriel. And that's also that's going to be on Dylan. And it's going to be on Coach Lebby, offensive coordinator.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But totally agree. Like you gotta have improvement, especially at a place like Oklahoma where you've gone 2 decades of dominance, right?
Yeah.
You just got thumped by your arch rival Texas. That can't happen again. Okay.
Yeah.
So improvement's got to be made. You know, let's say, can you flip to their schedule real quick?
For Oklahoma's schedule?
Yes.
Yeah, here you go. They've Arkansas State week 1. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, please make them bleed. SMU week 2 at Tulsa, at Cincinnati, Iowa State, Red River Rivalry, bye week, UCF, at Kansas, at Oklahoma State, West Virginia, at BYU, to close with TCU. Bro, that's a tough schedule for Oklahoma.
Yes. Now let me ask you this. Let's say they go 10-2, 9-3.
Yeah.
But it's a terrible loss to Texas. Yeah. And it's another terrible loss to an Oklahoma State. And let's say you got a sneaky bad loss in there as well. Let's say you get drubbed by West Virginia.
Yeah.
But you go 9-3. What's the narrative going on in Norman?
Oh man. I think the narrative is that they should have been better than that. And that's a broad one, but that they should have been better than that. They have, they've now got one of those. I don't know how old Dylan Gabriel is, but I know he's got to be in his last year of eligibility. So they've got one of those 25-year-old quarterbacks that should just be good. I mean, he really should be good. The conference is still not known for their defenses. Lebby he's looked like a genius for more time than he's not. So if they do that, like 9-3 with those losses that you mentioned, it's going to be that they should have been better than that they should have kept those games close, that they should have found that 10th win probably. And I think it still leads to more warmth in the general vicinity of Brent Venables' seat than it doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. However, I do think that nobody looks back on that 23 season and goes, man, good year, 9-3, because for one, that's not a good year in Oklahoma. Yeah. Everybody's talking about how they got drubbed by their rivals. And West Virginia coming out of nowhere, right?
Anyway. Yeah, somebody like that, yeah.
Totally agree on Brent Venables. Totally agree. Let's see. My next one, I'm starting to make my way into coordinators a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got one big fish left for you. That's about it though, on my
Okay, well,
list. So
throw the big fish at
no,
me
no,
then.
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, 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 no.
Okay. You ready for this?
Yes,
Coach with pressure. Mike Bobo.
that is spot on.
Because the fan base is almost torn on him
Yeah,
with his tenure under Rick. He's coming in at not a good time. It would have been better if he had came in last year or
yeah,
even next year, because now he's going to be responsible for what quarterback takes the field, right? And I understand that's like a decision between him and Kirby as well, but who's going to take the fall for that? It won't be Kirby, right?
no,
It won't be Kirby at this point.
no,
It'll be Bobo. And the
yeah,
and the cry will be, we've seen this before, like, what, get him out, right?
yeah,
Because now you have the most favorable schedule I have ever seen in the
ever,
history of college football. And if you
ever.
have average quarterback play, average, you're going to have pissed off Georgia fans.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they're star-studded, right? They're loaded. They're
Yeah,
loaded.
yeah. I mean, there's still more star-studded in the trenches on defense for sure. There's still question marks at pass catchers. Now that ignores the fact that you've got the best tight end
But I'm just talking
since.
about the quarterback room.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they've
yeah.
got,
No, no, no. Yeah, absolutely. Their quarterback room is loaded with stars. Now they're no longer 5 stars. They are college players. They're not 5 stars anymore.
right.
So what do you get out of them? And it's a crucial time, like you said. I mean, like throw a pick week one, and it's gonna be funny. Like it's gonna be funny to sit back and watch or dive into Twitter or what have
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, you're right. It is a pressure situation because it is so favorable. If quarterback, God forbid, were to be the reason, or offense were to be the reason that they didn't make a playoff run, or didn't make it to Atlanta or something weird like that, it would get dicey, and it would be really hot for Bobo immediately.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah,
I think I'm not gonna sit here and say that his leash is long or short or whatever, because ultimately Kirby is gonna decide that.
yeah.
But that fan base, there's a lot of Georgia fans that already do not love this hire.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, they're like, we're doing this again. They don't understand. Like, if you dive deep, how good they were with him. I mean, they set quarterback records at Georgia under Bobo
Yeah,
with Aaron Murray, I believe. So
yeah,
like they don't quite value him appropriately, that's the nature of college football in a nutshell. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. And also Kirby's never been in the position where he had to actually like fire someone or pull some. Quarterbacks, yes, they had their interesting times there, but like he's never had to fire a coordinator or anything like that. He's hardly ever had adversity.
hmm,
So it would be interesting to see how he would handle that because
sure,
in his early times he didn't exactly handle everything beautifully, trying to put Justin Fields in on a fake punt,
yeah,
things like that. Now
yeah,
he's turned it around amazingly, better than you could have probably ever imagined. But
right.
what would happen if there was pressure with a coordinator or a position coach or quarterback?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point, because the most pressure I think Kirby has faced is he can't get over Saban and he can't manage a game, and he's obviously overcome both of those, but
Yeah,
made some bad decisions there, like you said, in the early part of that tenure. I like Bobo under pressure. I think it's legit.
yeah,
I think it's legit.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, ready for this one? Oh no,
I'm
you have
ready.
one. No. It's your turn. It's your turn. It's your turn. It's your turn.
Okay, all right. I have a question for you. I want you to, if 10 is hot seat, you're getting fired, and 0 is you're currently Kirby Smart. That's the pressure system here. So
Okay.
I want you to give me a rating for both of these coaches. 2 coaches, all right.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? No, three coaches.
Okay.
All right. Jim Harbaugh, what's the pressure level?
1.5.
1.5. Okay. I would go like a 3.5, 4,
Okay.
because the showings in the playoff have been, and
Yes.
there's not been a ton of momentum off of them. Like
Sure.
they're not, ripping up recruiting, and they've been slow in NIL and all that. But 3.5, 4, you're a 1.5.
Yeah, because your back-to-back wins over Ohio State, which let's say we drop Tennessee here. Let's say we drop Bama and we drop Georgia, but we beat Florida. I'm still feeling pretty good because
Yeah.
we
Oh, yeah.
haven't done that. We haven't done that.
And all the
So
things we lost for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I do think there's a little bit of pressure on him to kind of beat Ohio State again. They're going to have turnover at quarterback. You've got Corum back. You've got that backfield back with him, McCarthy, Edwards, all those guys. You've recruited really well. Odds are in your favor, so there might be a little bit of pressure. But that game, the big game is at home. That pressure is low to me.
Okay,
though.
I'm cool with that because I'm like I said, I'm 3.5, 4. You know what I mean? He's going to leave on his own terms if he leaves anytime soon.
Yeah.
Ryan Day, give me the pressure level.
All right, so Ryan Day's on my list, actually.
All right, good.
Ryan Day is on my list. I think Ryan Day is under pressure. He's not on the hot seat, but he's under pressure. Tell me the last time Ohio State has gone back-to-back seasons losing to Michigan.
Oh, I can't. I can't do that. It's been a long time, man.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud, arguably, now statistically, he's your greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a Big Ten title, and he never played for a Natty.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, he did. No, he didn't.
No.
2020.
Well, it was Fields.
Fields. Okay. Yeah. So, just due to the fact of those facts on CJ, and you haven't beaten Michigan since 2019.
Oh God, dude! Oh my gosh!
COVID is applying pressure to Ryan Day because Michigan used to do this thing where they were counting the days since the last time they beat, Ohio State. And now Michigan's doing that. COVID year is just adding a whole nother 365 days on top of it. He is under pressure. I'm gonna say that's like a 7.5, 8.
Yeah,
it's up there.
That's the region that's the one thing I hate is that's where I'm sitting as well because I'm not like too crazy hot yet, but dude, like I think if they drop a game that they shouldn't, like before Michigan, then I think the pressure goes through the roof. And then even if you don't do that and you lose to Michigan for a third straight time, it's going to be pressure like we have not seen in Columbus. I mean, because also they're sitting here thinking we can go hire anybody we want to. We could pull Nick Saban if we wanted to. That's the way they view themselves, somewhat appropriately so, because they've been really good. Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to get crazy. It's going to go from like theoretically 0 to 60 pressure wise for him if a couple things go bad. And they're doing that like it's that situation with a new quarterback. So,
yes,
it's going to be fascinating. I'm actually excited to see how they do because of that.
So your season and your pressure is going to come down to really just a few games here. At Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Which I think, I mean, obviously, Sam Hartman
tougher than last year
is going to be that X factor, right? Sam Hartman's going to be that X factor. You've got the Penn State game, which is at home. Okay. I think really highly of Penn State this year, by the way.
Yeah. New quarterback. That's what we're all about. Yeah.
At Madison, Wisconsin, I think that is a trap. And it's weird because it comes post Penn State and before Rutgers.
Yeah.
If Penn State sucks the life out of Ohio State, even in a win, that could be rough because Wisconsin, I don't know if y'all know this, but Wisconsin's going to be throwing the ball this year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then you've got, obviously, the Michigan game, which is in Ann Arbor. I think there's pressure, man. You can't, I think if you lose to Michigan or almost if you don't go 12-0, right?
Yeah, like 11-1 is like his pressure point. Like 11-1 with it being Michigan or like being somebody it shouldn't. And like here's the thing, if they miss the playoffs, the pressure will be through the roof, like hot seat talk. If they miss the playoffs, I think like that's such a high bar. But that's where I'm at with them. I mean, there's already been talk about hot seat with him. That's why he's so fascinating to me because what he's done would be a lot of other programs, high point in the last quarter century and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they are fascinating to me.
The only way I think you can go 11-1 is if you beat Michigan and lose to Notre Dame. Almost not even the Penn State because Penn State's at home.
Yeah.
But that might be doable because Penn State is really loaded. Drew Aller, if he lives up to his expectations at that quarterback spot, that could be problematic. Yeah, I just don't think you can lose to Michigan.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway.
All right. And I said I had 3 coaches. Here's the last name. Same deal, 0 to 10. 10 is the roof is on fire.
Okay.
Nicholas Lou Saban.
Okay, so this is almost not fair.
Yeah, exactly.
This is almost not fair. And here's why it's not fair. Because your name is Nick Saban.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a little bit. I'm gonna come back to this because I'm gonna throw a name at you that is going to impact this conversation right here.
Okay. Good.
If so the pressure, if there is any, it's not a lot. It's not
Oh
the
yeah, for sure.
most. It's not intermediate. I think it's low,
Yeah.
but I think it can rise
Yeah.
if the offense is not doing the things that it could be, would be, should be doing, if the defense is doing similar things, yada yada yada. But here's why it's not fair. Because if things don't go well, he's just going to fire him at the end of the year and he's fine.
Yeah.
Because of the equity that he should have
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna throw a low number like 2.
Yeah. And the whole reason I mentioned his name is one, because when you pitched this idea, this conversation to me, he was actually the first name that came to mind.
That's
like
weird.
Not like hot seat, but again, pressure. He was like one of the first names that came to mind for me, because for the first time in 14 years, there's a little pressure. I mean, a little, like 1.5, 2.5.
Fair.
But the other reason that I think there's pressure is because this, like we've talked about, this would be one of the most impressive. Like if he makes a run, like a playoff appearance, like this would be one of the most impressive ones with just the sheer number of things that they lost, coordinators, quarterbacks, you name it. It would be so impressive. So that's the reason, because like a 10-2 just it doesn't sit well in Tuscaloosa because of what he's built. But you're right. Say the pressure mounts, say they go 10-2, he fires the coordinator, he does whatever X, Y, and Z, and they continue to say the words that we will not say on this program.
Pandemonium Reigns, keeping it clean,
Yeah.
one pot at a time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that to transition to the next person on my list, another coordinator, but I do want to come back to another head coach here in a minute. Tommy Rees, under pressure.
Gosh, good call. Good call. Under pressure. Bill O'Brien did him no favors. Losing Bryce Young is brutal. I mean, and listen, I struggle with the quarterback group. Number one, also the receivers have kind of let us down from like the wicked good days of there was you can only go
that run. That ungodly
you can only
run.
go down from there. Like there's no up from there. So like that's something that they're combating. But I don't know, man. I mean, Jalen Milroe never inspired anything in me. Ty Simpson, I feel like he would have got a chance at any other place in any other games, and he didn't. So yeah, players will improve from their first to second years. That's scientific fact. But man, it's going to be interesting. Tommy Rees has got the pressure.
I believe that Tommy Rees is under pressure because, for one, I actually don't think that there's a quarterback battle going on with Tommy Rees's pass wave schemes, calling games, stuff like that. I think there's pressure because I think it's Ty Simpson. I don't think it's Joel Miller. I think there's pressure because he can easily overcomplicate this. Just run the ball. Just run it.
Yeah.
It should be rather simple. And he strikes me as one of those guys who's going to overcomplicate things. He's never competed on any level in this conference. He didn't play in this conference. He hasn't coached in this conference. Played at Notre Dame. He's always been at Notre Dame. And you're Nick Saban's puppet. So you are the scapegoat, right? So if things don't go well, it's you, bro. I'm like, Ty Simpson, like if Ty Simpson doesn't do well, yes, he can enter the portal, but the pressure's not going to be on Ty Simpson next offseason. It will be, why is Tommy Rees still here?
Yeah. 100%.
Any other coordinator could do something with Ty Simpson, right?
Yeah.
5-star quarterback. I mean, tell me that's not going to be the things you hear.
Oh, so, dude, yeah.
Tommy Rees, tons of pressure. I think it's up there. I think it's 8 or 9.
I might go like maybe like 6.5, 7.5. But yeah, it's up there. It's up there.
Yep. Okay. That's fair. Do you have any more? Because I'm about to head back to head coaches.
I saved the three piece for last, so I'm just here to respond to your coaches at this point.
Okay, well then before we get, I got to, actually I'm wrong. I had to slide down my notes. I got two more coordinators I want to throw at you before we move back to a couple of head coaches and call it a day.
Cool.
I don't know his name. I don't know who this person. I don't know this person's name, but whoever the defense coordinator is at Southern Cal.
Oh, Alex Grinch.
Sure, whatever.
That's it's the guy that was a hot commodity for a few years at like Washington State. I think he did some time at Ohio State, and then I think he went to Oklahoma with the little sunglasses there. My gosh, Lincoln Riley.
Sure.
And I think that's who that is. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah.
So the reason I say this is I don't care if your name was Brian Urlacher, Mike Ditka, Ray Lewis. I don't think it matters. Yeah. I think you have to start doing some things defensively because this has been Lincoln Riley's MO. Mm-hmm. It's been his DNA, even in his time in Oklahoma, and they're not going to get rid of him. They're not. USC has been down for a decade and a half, right?
Yeah.
They got a Heisman winner, and they're going to attribute that to Garrett Riley. What's his name? Lincoln Riley. So the pressure, I don't think the pressure's on him at all. I think the pressure is solely falling to the defensive coordinator and him hiring a dude that says, dude, you've got to get stops. You got to figure this out.
Yeah.
Not my problem, your problem. And there's pressure there because they're going to score points, and sometimes they're going to do it quick.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. They're going to dominate offensively until until the Lord comes back in the Pac-12 in the current version of it. Yeah. And then, it'll be interesting when they go play some cold weather games and things like that in a few years. But yeah, I mean, they have to get stops. They have to make improvements that way. I don't know if this is true, but I read a headline within the last 6 or 8 weeks where Grinch or whoever the DC is out there was asking his trenchmen on defense to slim down. And I'm like, have you seen film of y'all? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Things have to change.
Agreed.
I'm someone that if I have the problem that Lincoln Riley has had of getting to the first round of the playoff or having a one-loss season, but giving up 40 points a game, like even if I'm Josh Heupel, and that continues to be the problem, say, I can't live with that. Like I've got to fix that at all costs, even if it means taking, if it's a scale, taking some of the offense away to balance it out. That's me. So I just don't know why you wouldn't do everything. I mean, it seems like staying at Oklahoma and making the move to the SEC would have been better towards that than going to USC where you're just not going to play anybody until they go to the Big Ten. That seems like that would have solved it more so. You would have recruited differently and things like that. But yeah, absolutely. A lot of pressure on whoever that man is.
Can you think of the narrative if Colorado and USC get into a shootout and Colorado hangs 45, 51, something like that? I mean,
yeah,
could be rough.
It will be ugly. It'll be ugly.
Could be rough. Anyway, so Grinch, whatever. I think he's under pressure.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he's on an island there. All right. Do the scale thing, 1 to 10. Okay.
All right.
But I'm not going to tell you his name right away. I'm going to try to give you hints and see
cool.
see if this comes to your mind. He's a coordinator. He's an offense coordinator.
Okay.
His head coach, his fan base is in love with him right now. Fan base is in love with the head coach. Okay.
Gotcha.
If you haven't done a whole lot overall as a head coach.
Yeah.
Can you tell me who the coordinator is?
We're talking about Loggins at South Carolina.
We're connecting. I love it.
We're mind linked, baby.
I think he's under pressure because they didn't like the hire from the get.
Yeah. Because they held on to the buddy of the head coach for too long before anything changed. Mm-hmm. And they hired a tight end coach from the SEC West. And I don't know the perks of it. Here's the thing. I'll almost put Beamer on my list, but on my pressure list, that is. But I didn't. I'm just kind of tired of talking about him, to be honest with you. Like,
yeah.
The way that I view Beamer is he's actually got to do something more than just beating Clemson and UT last year, because the thing is, losing in dramatic fashion one week or, having a game with Georgia State or Middle Tennessee State because your offense is so inconsistent, like it's just not going to cut it long term. So you have to actually do something for me, like more than just 2 wins last year that you credit to you. They were good wins. But yeah, Loggins, however you say his name, I think that one's coming in 6.5 on the jump at minimum because of how rough things were at times with Satterfield and Rattler. And frankly, last year should have been one of the best offenses they ever had. I mean, it really should have been. And my God, was it not consistent, if anything.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't think that there's anybody outside of Columbia, South Carolina, that is going to give you the grace of, yeah, but you lost Lloyd in the portal. Yeah, but you lost Jaheim Bell in the portal. I don't think anybody outside of Columbia, South Carolina is going to give you that. You might have some people inside the locker room or inside the administration, inside the city, fans, whatever, who might give you that. However, if I'm him, I might have been like, you know what? Forget it. Yeah, I'll take another job somewhere else.
Yeah.
Bump this. I mean, if you don't want me here, you're not excited about being here. That's fine. Whatever. I'll go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. I'm back to head coaches. I've only got a few here, and then we'll call it a day. I think this one's obvious, which is sad because I really like this guy. He's been there forever. Kirk Ferentz, whatever, have you say his name.
I should have said it and just cut you off because I knew immediately as well. Yeah, here's the thing: if you can have an offense as there's not a clean word safe enough for these airwaves that I can say to describe how bad it was last year. If you can do that and then retain your son as the offensive coordinator, that just tells me that the pressure is still around a 5 at most. And I think the pressure should be sky high at this point because it's obvious. The level of complacency that is involved here is so obvious. And just having the job because of your name and because of nepotism or whatever the word is for, hiring and retaining your family or a friend, something like that. I think it's low because you were allowed to do those things. You wasted an amazing defense. But I think it's in the 4 to 6 range, if you will, right around the middle. And I just think they need to crank it up a notch and get serious, or else this can go really badly. And then imagine having to perform a rebuild at Iowa.
Yeah. I don't think that you can come anything close to what you did last year as far as offensive productivity. I don't think that can nothing close. It can't even. It's got to improve by like 100 yards per game. It's so atrocious. So atrocious. It's sad. He's a good dude. He's been there forever. But you're coming to a point where you've got, college kids there now. You think they care about what the stuff he did when he was first there? Or what went on when he had Drew Tate, which is a name most people don't even know? No. So you got to do something. You got to do something, especially when it's your kid. You've almost put yourself in a bit of a pickle there.
Oh yeah,
with that hire. So Kirk Ferentz, no brainer in my mind. I'm curious about this one. I want to know. I want to know what you think. Give me the scale. Mel Tucker.
This one could be. Maybe I'm off because of just how far away we are from East Lansing here in the Southeast, and thank God, frankly, that we're where we are. But I don't feel like I hear enough. Meaning, I think the pressure is too low for him as well. And maybe it's higher. Maybe I'm just completely out of the loop on them and misreading the situation. But dude, I think it should be again like 5.5 to 7. Not red hot yet. Not red hot. Not hot seat for sure. And 2021 was good. 2021 was good. But boy, did you follow that up in true Michigan State football, like weird fashion where you had a good year and then you just laid a turd, not even an egg, like you laid a turd. So you cannot repeat that. I'm not the biggest fan or believer in the roster pieces or what they've added or what they have coming back even. But I still don't think it's high enough. I think it should be in the 5.5, 6 region at the minimum based on the contract that he fleeced them off of 2021.
Yeah.
That has to be a factor. If you're going to write a contract like that, you can't be afraid to pay the buyout. So
that's fair.
If you do the same thing or anything like it, I think it cranks on up to a hot seat level for 2024, maybe even at the end of this year. But again, I just don't feel like I'm hearing enough. That's where my scale would be if I was a decision maker there.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that's a part of being a head coach is how many times is your brand in front of people even across the nation. And I think you're making a good point here with I just don't know.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you I could go look at the recruiting rankings and like I'm not going to know much. I do know that they're really excited about a D lineman. I
Yeah.
can tell you his name. You're living at this point. 2021 is 2 years away. Kenneth Walker's will be 2 years away or 2 years removed. I don't think you can repeat anything close to what you did last season, but it's going to be so dang tough because you're guaranteed Ohio State, you're guaranteed Michigan, you're guaranteed Penn State, you're guaranteed a tough Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Rutgers, whoop de doo, right?
That's a really hard job, Michigan State, and
Michigan
they've
State's a
done
tough job.
they've done some work with both now and in the last 10 or so, but that is a really tough job, especially and only more so as Michigan puts things together and forms consistency. And we know Harbaugh's been there a while now, but it's like now the consistency's coming that we've been looking for. That's a tough job and a tough division, and it's not getting easier. So that's why I think the pressure should be higher. You should want and expect more based on what he did before. So where's it going to be?
Let's you and I walk through the schedule together. Let's give them wins, losses, and let's see if it's acceptable or not.
All right.
Home against Central Michigan.
Dub.
Home against Richmond.
Dub.
2-0. They're about to be 2-1. Home against Washington.
That's probably a loss. I mean, they should be.
Washington's returning Michael Penix. A lot of offense. Man,
they should lose that game.
I don't know that Michigan State can score enough points.
No, I don't either.
2-1, fair?
Yeah, 2-1.
Home against Maryland.
Oh gosh, dude.
Really
is little Tagovailoa gone?
I don't think so. I think he's back.
That's 2-2.
2-2. Agreed. At Iowa.
Boy, that's gonna be a tough defense again, man. And I was there again. This is one of those situations like Colorado and Nebraska. You cannot lose this game, either team. Oh man, because of the offensive woes at Iowa, I'm going to say 3-2. I'm going to give Tucker the benefit of the doubt.
Wow. Okay, so I was going to say with the addition of McNamara and the fact that it's in Iowa, I kind of like Iowa there. Okay, that's fine. I think it's a toss up in the end. Yeah. I have no problem going Spartan. So they're at 3-2. Is that right?
Yeah, for me, 2-3 for you. Yeah.
Okay. At Rutgers.
That should be a dub. 4-2 for me.
4-2. Okay. Home against Michigan.
4-3.
4-3. At Minnesota.
Ooh, Minnesota.
I think that's
man. I'm going 4. Yeah, I'm going 4-4. I can't do it.
4-4. Home against Nebraska.
Oh gosh, dude. Nebraska should be looking at this like, hey, we saw what they did. This is a snappable game. You say at Nebraska?
No, it's in East Lansing.
Okay, I will go 5-4, but I'm excited for that game already. But that's a dub. 5-4.
I mean, Matt Rule has been known to put up points, so
exactly. It's going to be sneaky.
You're going to have a quarterback battle in Casey Thompson and Jeff Sims potentially. You can't tell me that Rule is just going to keep Sims off the field, even if he doesn't win the quarterback battle.
Exactly.
You know who it is in Michigan State? It's going to be Peyton Thorne, who's not so hot without Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
And he's lost Jaden Reed now. Okay, so yeah, I don't hate that. So you're at 4-4, you said?
I'm at 5-4 now. I'm going to give them that one.
Okay. At Ohio State.
5-5, no doubt about it.
At Indiana.
Indiana bringing in Taven Jackson, and Indiana's kind of due for like one of those like 7-8 win years. Oh man, dude, that's a toss up for me. I don't know which way to go, but
you gotta pick.
If they're going to win bowl, if they're going to a bowl, they're winning that game. I'm going to say they barely do that. 6-5, and you probably know what the last one's going to be.
It's Penn State, and it's a loss.
Yeah, it's a loss. 6-6, baby.
So whether they go 5 or 7 or 6-6, is Mel Tucker still in East Lansing, or what kind of pressure is he under?
I think the seat will be hot for 2024 because
it's gotta be.
Exactly. It's got to be. Has to be.
Oh man, it stinks because I like Mel Tucker. Tuck is coming. Tuck is coming. It's really just because he's a black version of me. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so I've got one guy left, and we're gonna end the show right here. And I really see this guy falling under the hot seat category, and I also see him falling under the just the most pressure category. I don't know if anybody is under a bigger microscope than Jimbo Fisher.
Absolutely. He's that's why I didn't mention him. He's hot seat for me
He's hot seat
because I think they're ready to pay that buyout if things don't go well. And they brought in Bobby Petrino to make it go well. Boy, is there a chance for a clash there. My gosh.
Okay.
We could have a fist fight on the sidelines between those two, man.
You could. And
they're both just
take my money.
as redneck as me, and they're just ready to fight, man. Come on.
I will pay to see that.
Oh yeah.
But here's what I think can potentially happen that will create the pressure on Jimbo, and it will be self-inflicted. Because if things don't go well, and even offensively, let's say Petrino just does not doing well for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Not saying that Jimbo's tying his hands or anything like that, because I'm about to get into that. Your scapegoat's going to be get rid of Petrino.
Yeah.
Which could even still cause pressure because, I mean, you went out and you got a known offensive mind and it still didn't work out. How are you not at least under pressure? I mean, come on. Yeah. Come on. But let's say that, and I'm stealing this from Josh Pate. Let's say you do what you're supposed to against New Mexico. You go 77-10.
Yeah.
All right. You hang up a bunch of points just because your roster's that much better. Right. But you're in Coral Gables next week at Miami, and you're going into halftime, and it's tied at 9. Right.
Yeah.
I think Jimbo is egotistical, and I think he is a control freak, and I think he's looking at Bobby saying, "You're done, dude. I'm calling it."
Yeah, quickly to pull the trigger on it.
Right back to 2022, right? The only difference is you just got Bobby Petrino up in your booth.
Yeah, dude. Quick side note that I forgot Mario. Mario's got pressure. My gosh, did I forget Mario?
Cristobal. Yeah. Agreed.
Good night. What a loser I am. Proceed. Sorry.
You said what?
I said proceed. Sorry.
Proceed. Not what I thought you said. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
so
man.
Yeah. So I think it could be. I think if he wants to keep it off of him, he's got to let Bobby Petrino sink or swim.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's got to just hand it over.
But how do you think this is going to unfold?
I see him handling this well. Dude, no way. There's no way he's going to handle this well. I mean, there's two planet-sized egos out there. Like, what are we doing, somebody? And I just don't see it going well. I mean, like, they have so much talent, and they were so bad last year. And it just does not add up. I think he's going to meddle like the way that my man Gus Malzahn used to meddle at Auburn. That's the way I think it's going to go, and I think they're just going to have to pay him a lot of money to go away.
Fair. I have a question for you that I think might dictate or might help this conversation. Does Jimbo Fisher have a daughter?
I do not know. Grasshopper.
Because let's say it's summertime, it's hot outside, in Aggie land. Jimbo's daughter brings some drinks for the team or something that day, and let's just say Bobby Petrino forgot his sunglasses. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
He's just hot looking.
Oh my gosh!
I will pay money to see Jimbo and Bobby Petrino in a fight.
Yeah, dude.
I want that to explode so bad.
I just want it, man. I want them to go back to the cellar. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired of you. Kellen Mond wore me out, and then you just didn't do anything after. So I'm just over it. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh! Hey, let's do the same thing we did with who was that? We just did them. What was that schedule? Michigan State. Let's do that with A&M real quick.
Sounds good.
And let's just see what happens. 1-0 New Mexico, right?
1-0
at Miami.
2-0 because of their defense, not their offense.
Okay, I don't hate that at all. 3-0 UL Monroe, right?
Yep, 3.
Okay. Home against Auburn.
That's a 4 because of their defense and the hill that Auburn has to climb.
Okay. All right. At Arkansas.
This will be the last time that I trust Sam Pittman this way. That is 4-1.
4-1. That means that Arkansas finally does it in Dallas, right?
Yes.
They've yet to do it, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. Home against Bama.
That's 4-2. They're not doing it again. Not that they did it last year.
In Knoxville.
3 losses, 4 wins.
Oh, so you mean they're going to go?
They're losing back to back to back right there.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Alabama, UT. That's losses.
Yeah, and it doesn't get a whole lot easier. Home against South Carolina.
Defense prevails. That's 5-3.
Agreed. I think there's a revenge game there. Yeah. At Ole Miss.
They ain't. I don't think they're doing that. Oh man, their defense should be good, but Ole Miss has so many weapons. I'm going to go 5-4.
Okay. Home against Mississippi State.
They should do that. That's probably 6-4 right there.
Abilene Christian, 7-4.
7-4.
At LSU.
7-5.
Can Jimbo Fisher afford to go 7-5?
No. I think even 8-4 could get dicey depending on the 4. I don't think he can go 7-5, man. I think they'll take their chances.
Not with the way you've recruited. There's
I think
no
they'll
excuses.
Take their chances.
Yes, and you went out and you got a genius. Petrino has won everywhere, right?
Yeah.
This is what he does. He puts up points. He's solid in the offensive department. Jimbo will be without excuse.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's done everything possible at that point. So,
and it could be just because of the culture going on in because you did not bring in a culture guy with Bobby Petrino.
No.
You didn't do it. it. Yeah, I think Jimbo is out at that point.
Yeah.
Totally out at that point.
I think it's like Sarkisian. He needs 9-3 like he needs oxygen, and 10-2 would be a lot more favorable, and that's not happening.
But we gave him 7-5, so that means he has to beat a Tennessee. He's got to beat Ole Miss. Got to beat a Bama, Arkansas. He's got to win what, 2 of those?
At least, and still, I think 9-3 can be dicey if you don't compete in those games. I mean, man, it could get ugly.
Yeah. I mean, it could get real ugly if you lose week 2. Which I think is doable.
That will be one of the biggest momentum games of anybody's season as far as I'm concerned.
Agreed. I'm going to end with one last question. Make it quick, and then we're going to bounce out of here. How much longer is Brett Bielema in Champaign, Illinois?
I'm going to say this could be his spot. He could get poached, but I think he's done what he wanted to do as far as leaving and trying things, man. If he wants to stay in this game, I think he's there.
Okay. Even if Wisconsin, Nebraska turn it up?
Nebraska would be interesting for me if they were to, come after him or anything like that.
I don't mean like that. I mean like raise their level. I mean like Rule is the guy. Fickle is the guy.
Well, I thought that I'll never think a decision is weirder than Wisconsin, what he had there to Arkansas. So I think he'll weather it out. I really do. And I think this is his spot.
What if he goes 5-7?
He's got some leash. It's Illinois. Okay. He's got some leash.
He goes 5-7.
It would have to be 2 or 3 years of that.
24.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think then he would be hot going 25, but he's got some leash.
So what if he goes 10-2? Does he get hired away?
That's what I'm saying. Like I think he's experimented and he's done those things. And again, I don't think you want to blow that up again. But money is a heck of a drug.
Well, you can make a move without doing something absolutely stupid and jumping, to the SEC of sorts. But let's just real quickly. I know we said just a few minutes here, but let's say you beat Kansas, you beat Toledo. Let's say you keep Penn State really close, but you lose that. You beat FAU, you beat Purdue, you beat Nebraska, you beat Maryland, you beat Wisconsin, you beat Minnesota, you beat Indiana. You go 11-1. and the one loss is close. Like one score game. Texas A&M might might be available. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, maybe he would. I don't know, but
Riley's out in Southern Cal saying, "Hey, man, can you coach defense?"
My gut is just telling me that he wants to be at a place. Like he wants to build something, not just be a stone stepper. You know what I mean? But
can you at Illinois? Can you?
I think they can because of the transfers that they can bring in because they had such a strong year last year. I think they can. It'll be a long haul, not a sprint.
I got you. Well, we would love for you to comment on this video and let us know. We'd love for you to like button. Love for you to message us. Pandemonium Reigns podcast at gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, tell your mommies and your daddies, your paws from Arkansas, all the people, your greasy granny, panty, grandma. That was weird. That was a fumble of words. Tell somebody about your boys at Pandemonium Reigns. We love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. This was a little longer than we anticipated, but maybe we'll be back with you later in the week. We're cooking up something. We'll see what happens. Not sure yet. Michael still hasn't cut his hair. We'll find out.
I'm on to.
We love you guys. God bless. Go Balls.
GBO.